How do you choose the right Kamado Joe? That's what this video is about, so let's get into the details. There's a set of questions I get asked all the time to help determine what Kamado Joe is right for me. And matter of fact, it's a set of questions that I ask myself to help me determine what one was the right fit for my circumstances. And so, I'm Scott from Bartlow's Barbecue, and we're gonna dive into a series of questions to help you discern and determine which one is right for you. Let's talk price point. This is a question I ask myself and I oftentimes get on my channel and different platforms. What does it cost to get into a Kamado Joe grill? Luckily, Kamado Joe has been great and innovative, and they've got a great lineup and great starting point with a lower price point to get you in and to determine what you want to spend. You can range from $399 to up to $2,500 is the upfront range on all their series. So we're gonna go through each one and their price point. So I've got a list here just so I know what the current price points are. I know them mostly off the top of my head, but just wanna make sure I'm giving you the right information. So let's start with the Joe Jr. So the Joe Jr. Is a 13-inch diameter grill, and it is a great starting point. It's $399. It comes with a stand. It's a fantastic grill. We're not going to get into all the details on each of these grills, but the purpose is for you to think about the budget, $399. We got the Kettle Joe at $499, and again, it comes with a stand. It comes with a slow roller. It has ceramic firebox inside. It's the best of both worlds. A great entry point in addition to the Kettle Joe at $499, depending on what your budget is. And then as we move into the Classic 1 series, which was the original series, you can get in, that's an 18-inch diameter grill. You can get in, depending on where you shop for it, around $750. The Classic 2, which is what I have here, can range, right now it's retail $1,250, but you could find that sometimes a little cheaper, around $1,100, $1,000, depending on different places that are running deals. Classic 3, newer models, 18-inch grill, that's currently listed around $1,699. The Big Joe 1 is around that $1,100 range. The Big Joe 2 is around $1,900, and the new Big Joe 3 is around $2,500. And lastly, their newest innovation is the Pellet Joe this past year, 18-inch grill, around that $2,000 range. And again, the caveat here is depending where you're shopping locally or kind of online, you're gonna see a few different price points running different deals. But this is an important question to start with because other questions that we get into are kind of, don't really matter if we don't understand what our budget is. And I wanna help educate you knowing what you can get into at a very lower price to up to that $2,500. You're making an investment when you're entering into the Kamado Joe family, because these grills are going to last a lifetime, especially the ceramic grills. They've got great warranty, and that's part 2 of this first question, is also price and warranty. You always want to consider what the warranty is, and there is great lifetime warranty, I believe, on the life of the ceramic grill. So again, I'll try to link stuff in the description to help you read a little bit more details about price and also warranty. So that's the next one. Let's get into the next question. Well, the second question I oftentimes get asked is what are the standard features and also the accessories that are available to a Kamado Joe? Instead of going through each style of Kamado Joe, I'm just gonna kind of answer this in more of a basic general principle here. Most Kamado Joes are gonna come with the ash tool here that allows you to scrape all the ash out of the bottom vent, then a grill grate grabber, heat deflectors, the ceramic firebox that comes inside, obviously the Kamado Joe, the grill itself, and the top vent and all that good stuff as well. And then most of them all come with, actually I believe all of them come with some type of stand for it to sit in. Now you can buy the one that just sits on the ground if you have a paver or something like that. A few other accessories that come pretty standard on a Kamado Joe is your divide and conquer system that allows you to do indirect cooking or direct cooking. It's pretty awesome. And I've already mentioned your heat deflectors. Now the slow roller also is another accessory that's wonderful that helps produce 20 times more smoke. That's an additional accessory for a Classic 1 and 2 and Big Joe 1 and 2, but it comes standard with the new version 3 Classic and also the Big Joe as well. And then also it comes standard with the Kettle Joe. Now obviously the Joe Jr. is too small for a slow roller, at least at this point. So that's a few other accessories that come with it. And then we're gonna dive into just accessories in general that are just awesome to consider when having a Kamado or purchasing a Kamado that you'll really enjoy. I'm gonna flash up just a list of a lot of the accessories that are available for you when it comes to Kamado Joe, depending on the size, but they usually have them for the Classic and also the Big Joe. But that's gonna be from the Dojo that allows you to cook and bake pizzas and even bake anything that you want really with the Dojo, and it usually comes with you can get that for the Classic too, and the Big Joe. You can get the Jotisserie, which is one of my favorite accessories, and you're able to pretty much use it for anything like chicken and picanha and all sorts of stuff. You can get it comes with you can get a basket attachment that allows you to cook chicken wings. That's wonderful. You got the cast iron accessories, half moons. You've got the soapstone accessory that is that porous stone that just absorbs heat and allows you to just have an incredible sear on different foods. It's a wonder. They've got a grill expander, so especially on the Classic 2, if you're not wanting to jump up when it comes to cost to version 3, you can get a grill expander for your Classic. I don't have it in here, but it sets it up and you're able to have kind of additional space to cook chicken, or if you're making beef jerky, or if you're doing over-the-top chili or something like that. All sorts of things you can do with kind of doubling up your grill space. These are just a handful of ideas to get you thinking. The big idea here is that there's a lot of accessories available for Kamado Joe, and they're constantly innovating, coming up with new ways to kind of make it just wonderful experience cooking, and outdoor cooking experience for you. They're starting to roll out more features and accessories for the Joe Jr. They have a soapstone there as well, cast iron accessory that you can get, and there's a wok. There's all sorts of things, and another thing that comes standard is the X rings that allows you to set certain things on as well. So again, not an exhaustive list, but there is tons of accessories and some great features that come standard for the Kamado Joe. Another question I oftentimes get, and I even considered, is what is the right size Kamado Joe for me to go after? Now that we kind of have a good base point of your price point and all that good stuff, features and accessories that are available, those are all important things. Like, what's the right size do I choose? Like, if I don't have really a budget I'm concerned about, then, do I go to the Joe Jr. $3.99? Do I go to the Kettle Joe that just came out? That's a really great price point with great grill space. Classic 2, Big Joe, what do I do? The way I want to answer this is a few things. First, let's start with just knowing what the dimensions are for all the grills. You've got the Joe Jr. that's at that 13 inches, 13.5, I believe. And you can also buy kind of another third-party grill expander if you need to kind of double some space. Then we've got 22 inches on the Kettle Joe, 18 inches on the Classic series, no matter if it's old or new version, and then 24 inches for the Big Joe, no matter what version. So, and then also Pellet Joe, I believe, is also the 18 inches. So that's foundation one, is like, what's the capacity of and the size of each of these grills, so you know. The next question I would ask you to consider to help you determine which one is right for you when it comes to size is, who are you cooking for? Are you just cooking for your family? Is it just 2 people? Is it 4 people? Is it you know, 8 people? Are you hosting a lot of parties? Are you thinking about catering? It depends on how you might answer these questions. If you're cooking for just a family of 4 to 6, man, the Joe Jr. is fine. Like, I've got a family of 4, and before I had the Classic 2 first, but I added this, and oftentimes during the week, I'll use the Joe Jr. It heats up fast. I have plenty of space to cook, you know, a lot of chicken, and a whole chicken, a spatchcock style, to a lot of steaks I can fit on here. It fits that. So a family of 4, easy. With a grill expander accessory, you're able to even do a little bit more than that. A very tiny brisket flat, a small pork butt, things like that. This is a great entry point because it's 22 inches. It's in between that 18 and 24 of the Big Joe. And although it's not made out of ceramic, it's got the ceramic firebox inside that gives you that efficiency. There's definitely a few things here that I would love. I got the kind of the pre-model that I would love to see fixed, but overall, as far as like different leaking and airflow, but for the most part, it's efficient, and at the end of the game, it produces wonderful food, and at the price point, you can't really argue. It's awesome. And again, 22 inches, you can get a lot of food items on there, and the same thing if you go the Big Joe. But before I go to the Big Joe, the Classic 2, again, 18 inches, man, it's awesome if you're cooking a larger than a set of family of 4, and you're cooking 6 to 8, if not 10 more people. I mean, really the number is endless because you've got kind of that 2-zone cooking. Depends on what you're cooking and how big of meat you get on here. I think I've gotten like an 15 to 17 inch brisket, and then, you know, there's different ways that you can bend that. Now, most people aren't going for the briskets. They're doing pork butts, they're doing chicken, they're doing whole chickens, they're doing steaks, they're doing just standard things like that, hot dogs, whatever it might be, cooking breakfast on here. That's gonna fit your needs just for your basic family. Even if you're cooking for like a group of friends that are coming over, the Classic 18-inch model is perfect. It really is. Now, if you plan on hosting big events or big parties more frequently, the Big Joe at 24 inches, I think, is a great one. You know, most people will tell you just to go big because you'll then never regret not having enough space. And I think that's a good principle if budget's not a concern. I would actually agree with that. Go Big Joe, no matter if it's the 1, 2, or 3 series. Now, obviously, the advantage of the 3 series is you get more kind of, I think it's 4 inches higher, and you get the slow roller, and plus you get the 24 inches. So again, I've cooked on a Big Joe 2, which my brother owns, and it does an amazing job, and you have so much space, and if you're planning to host a lot more larger parties, and budget's not really a concern, go Big Joe, no doubt. If you're just kind of the average person that's gonna cook for, you know, 2 to 8 people, then consider one of these 3 options, depending if the other things are constrained. Well, I hope this video is helpful for you to determine what is the right Kamado Joe for you. And if you have questions, put it in the comments. You can also find me on Instagram. I respond to direct messages. I'm also on TikTok, Facebook. I've got a special Facebook group called BBQ Basics. If you're interested, put that in the description below. But I hope that you began to think about what right Kamado Joe is for you in your backyard and your setup. And I've got a whole playlist called Start Here with Kamado Joe on teaching you how to do hot and fast, low and slow on your Kamado Joe, how to get your temperature correct and just kind of dialed in, setting that up in your charcoal placement, how to clean your Kamado Joe, kind of a fun video. So I've got a lot of different videos to kind of get you going on your Kamado Joe journey. And if there's other things you want me to do on this channel, let me know, put it in the comments. I'd love to consider, and maybe I'll do a video on one of your questions. And one other thought I had is, you might be wondering, where do I buy a Kamado Joe, depending on where you live? My best advice is to shop local if you can, but go to Kamado Joe's website and go to their search finder and see what local businesses carry your Kamado Joe. That's actually how I found a dealer close to where I live, but you can also check out all different websites like Atlanta Grill Company, for example, All Things Barbecue as another, and I know there's a list of other ones, and if I think of them after this video, I'll put a link in the description to kind of help you do a little research depending on where you live. Again, I'm so grateful for each one of you. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for future videos from my backyard to yours. Less hate, more love, good barbecue. Till next time.